Welcome to our high energy countdown, where we'll explore how each NFL team's logo has evolved over the decades, and we'll do it all in about 20 minutes. Ready for some fast paced logo lore? Now, let's break it all down from number 32 to number 1. Number 32, Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are the NFL's oldest continuously run franchise, tracing roots back to the Chicago Cardinals in 1898. Their logos have changed less often than you'd think for such a long history. Early on, a simple cardinal perched on a football appeared in the 1940s. In 1960, they introduced the famed cardinal head that remained essentially the same for decades. However, 2005 brought a more intimidating redesign, featuring a sharper beak and bolder lines. Fans joked that the once friendly bird had finally discovered caffeine. Let's be real, that modern look gave Arizona a recognizable identity. Despite relocations from Chicago to St. Louis and eventually Phoenix, their Cardinal remains a timeless NFL icon. Number 31, Atlanta Falcons. Introduced as an expansion team in 1966, the Falcons' first logo was a sleek black falcon shaped like an F, symbolizing both the bird and the city's rise. From the start, they embraced black and red, though minor tweaks came in 1990 and 1998 to freshen up the palette. In 2003, they unveiled a more aggressive, stylized falcon with angled feathers and a more pronounced stance, reflecting the team's high-flying ambitions. Before that redesign, fans poked fun at the older, flatter falcon for looking too static. Jokes aside, the current logo is beloved for its dynamic silhouette that matches Atlanta's speed-first mindset on the field. It's bold, brash, and unmistakably Falcon. Number 30, Baltimore Ravens. When the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore in 1996, the new Ravens logo initially featured a winged shield with a bold B legal disputes, with a security company over that emblem forced a quick pivot in 1999. The solution? A regal raven head with a gold B on the bird's forehead. This design not only avoided ownership battles, but also felt truer to the team's name, honoring Edgar Allan Poe's classic poem, The Raven, which has strong ties to the city. Fans quickly embraced the sharper beak, intense eye, and proud crest as a symbol of a defense-first franchise. Today, it's a staple of the purple and black brand. Number 29, Buffalo Bills. Few logos scream buffalo more than the charging bison silhouette. At first, the Bills used a simple red standing buffalo on a white background. In the 1960s, they experimented with a bison wearing a football helmet, a whimsical nod to the new AFL team. But in 1974, the iconic charging buffalo with a red speed stripe was born. This dynamic design captured the city's rugged spirit and the team's push forward. The single streak across the buffalo's body signaled motion, an apt metaphor for a franchise always looking to run opponents over. Jokes aside, that 1974 design stuck for good reason. Its bold lines, patriotic color scheme, and forward momentum became a beloved staple of Bills Mafia. Number 28, Carolina Panthers. When the Panthers joined the league in 1995, they debuted a snarling panther head that cleverly formed the combined outlines of North and South Carolina, an homage to their regional fan base. The original logo sported a teal outline and silver details, matching their bold uniform colors. In 2012, the franchise subtly updated the cat's features, giving it sharper angles and a slightly modernized color scheme. It was a small tweak, but fans noticed the new fierce expression and sleeker lines. To be honest, it's as if the Panther hit the weight room to prep for Sunday. That emblem remains a testament to the team's brand: swift, aggressive, and distinctively Carolinian. Number 27, Chicago Bears. One of the NFL's founding franchises, the Chicago Bears, didn't always rock the simple C we know today. In the 1940s, a black bear perched on a football served as their primary mark. By the early 1960s, they adopted the familiar wishbone C, initially white before changing it to orange with a white trim. This C has become inseparable from the Windy City's storied team. Over the years, the fierce bearhead made cameo appearances for promotional materials, but the official logo never strayed far from that classy letter. In all seriousness, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This minimal design is as iconic in Chicago as deep dish pizza and cold winter winds. Number 26, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals' evolution is a tale of stripes and subtlety. When they joined the AFL-NFL in 1968, their helmet simply said Bengals across the side. Pretty straightforward, but not exactly ferocious. By the early 80s, the team introduced their now famous tiger-striped helmet, which instantly stood out on the field. The official logo, however, kept shifting. In the late 90s, a leaping Bengal tiger made a cameo. Then, in 2004, the stylized bee with black tiger stripes took center stage, aligning closely with their helmet brand. Fans had mixed feelings, joking that a single letter might be too basic. No kidding. It's proven versatile and modern. Much like Joe Burrow's offense, it's all about bold stripes in Cincinnati. Number 25, Cleveland Browns. Talk about minimalism. The Cleveland Browns are famously known for having just an orange helmet as their primary logo. That said, they've toyed with a secondary logo featuring Brownie the Elf, a mischievous figure rumored to date back to the team's early fan culture. While Brownie pops up on the field occasionally, and even made a cameo at midfield in 2022, the official stance remains the helmet as their recognized emblem. For real, though, only the Browns could adopt the color orange for a name that's brown, yet that monolithic helmet is deeply tied to their no-frills identity. Unique? Absolutely. Sometimes a bold color says more than any fancy design could. Number 24, Dallas Cowboys. Few sports symbols are more iconic than the Cowboys' blue star. Launched in 1960, that single star reflects Texas's Lone Star State nickname and the team's status as America's team. Despite being unbelievably simple, just a 5-pointed star, the design has endured with only minor shade adjustments. In the mid-1960s, they introduced a white border, creating the layered look we see today. Some fans joke the star is big enough for Dallas's famed egos, but in truth, it's a marketing treasure. Sleek, timeless, and easily recognized worldwide, the blue star stands front and center in a franchise worth billions. When you see it, you know you're dealing with one of the league's biggest brands. Number 23, Denver Broncos. From the moment they joined the AFL in 1960, the Broncos' logos galloped through several phases. Initially, they sported a bucking bronco with an actual cowboy on its back, a real old-school Western vibe. In 1968, the famous D with a rearing horse breathing fire took hold, eventually becoming a beloved icon in Denver. Then 1997 brought a sweeping change that mirrored the team's shift to the Mike Shanahan era. Out went the big block D, in came a sleek, modern stallion head with a fiery orange mane. Fans gawked at first, but quickly grew to love it, especially after back-to-back Super Bowl wins. But seriously, winning can make any logo a classic overnight. Number 22, Detroit Lions. The Lions' roaring presence has been felt since their relocation to Detroit in 1934, but the logo we know debuted in 1961, a leaping lion in Honolulu blue. Minor refinements arrived in the 70s and again in 2003, adding black outlines for added contrast. In 2009, the team sharpened the Lions' features, giving it visible teeth and a fiercer stance. Fans joked it finally had the bite to match its roar. Then, in 2017, they dropped the black outline, reverting to a classic two-tone scheme of silver and Honolulu blue. In all seriousness, it's symbolic of Detroit's grit, blue-collar pride, and determination that stand out even in the toughest of times. Number 21, Green Bay Packers. The Packers' iconic oval G might be one of the NFL's most recognized letters, but it wasn't introduced until 1961. Before that, Green Bay tried various logos, including a playful football player design. The now famous G was reportedly designed by art student John Gordon at the request of then-coach Vince Lombardi. Over time, only minor tweaks happened. Thicker borders here, deeper green there. In truth, the G stands for greatness in cheesehead country. The University of Georgia later asked permission to use a similar G for its Bulldogs. That's how revered this mark is. When you see it, you think of Packers tradition, cold Lambeau Fields, and a winning legacy. Number 20, Houston Texans. A relative newcomer, the Texans entered the league in 2002 after Houston's previous franchise relocated to Tennessee. They needed a strong image to replace the beloved Oilers, so they went with a Navy bull's head split by a lone star, the hallmark of Texas pride. The red and navy color scheme stands out, and the star acts as the bull's eye. The franchise joked it should intimidate opponents from day one. In all honesty, it brought an immediate identity in a city that craves tough, hard-nosed football. Unlike teams with centuries of design updates, the Texans' logo remains unchanged, signaling stability and a confident nod to the state's unmistakable symbol of strength, the Longhorn. Number 19, Indianapolis Colts. Tracing their lineage to the Baltimore Colts of the 50s, the franchise's iconic horseshoe is as classic as a pigskin itself. Early images showed a cartoonish Colt running with a football helmet, but the horseshoe, adopted in 1979, quickly became the mainstay. It's a design that exudes luck, though the orientation, open end up, is debated by superstitious fans. The shade of blue has evolved slightly, but the essential horseshoe remains constant. Let's be real. It's almost as if the Colts are telling their opponents they'll need all the good fortune they can get. Timeless, simple, and proud, the horseshoe remains instantly recognizable, a staple for a franchise that's had its fair share of legendary QBs. Number 18, Jacksonville Jaguars. Entering the NFL alongside the Panthers in 1995, the Jaguars had a formidable cat logo that looked ready to pounce. In 2013, they refined it to be more realistic, giving the Jaguar a fiercer snarl and sharper detail. The color scheme remained teal, gold, and black, but the overall aesthetic became more modern. Some fans teased that the new Jaguar looked like it had a fresh haircut compared to the older, fluffier version. But seriously, it was a much-needed update to reflect the team's ambition. Another minor tweak followed in 2018 to simplify details, proving the Jags aren't afraid to polish up. Sleek, strong, and eye-catching, just like their upstart presence in the league. Number 17, Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, originally the Dallas Texans, relocated to Kansas City in 1963. Lamar Hunt sought a new identity, settling on the arrowhead shape with the interlocking KC. Legend says it was inspired by the 49ers' SF crest, but with a frontier twist. The red and white color scheme popped immediately, reflecting the team's fiery style on the field. Since the 70s, the logo has remained largely unchanged. Why mess with a classic? No kidding, it's a simple but powerful mark that matches the booming war chant at Arrowhead Stadium. Much like Patrick Mahomes' passing, it hits the mark every time. An iconic brand that resonates across Chiefs Kingdom and beyond. Number 16, Las Vegas Raiders. Few logos are as timeless as the Raiders pirate in a football helmet. Introduced in 1960 when they began in Oakland, it was refined in 1964 to the shield design we still see. While the team has hopped cities, Oakland to Los Angeles, back to Oakland, now in Las Vegas, the emblem hardly changed. The eye-patched Raider, crossed swords, and silver and black color palette define the franchise's renegade spirit. Al Davis always stressed brand consistency, and it's paid off. All humor aside, some argue the tough guy logo fits Raider Nation's rowdy reputation. Whether in the Bay or the desert, that silver shield stands for rebellion and swagger, beloved by some, feared by many, recognized by all. Number 15, Los Angeles Chargers. Starting as the Los Angeles Chargers in 1960 before heading to San Diego a year later, they carried a shield logo with a horse and lightning bolt. Eventually, the single bolt became the focus, an iconic shape that's evolved through color changes and angles. In 2007, the bolt gained a navy outline, reflecting the team's uniform revamp. By 2020, the franchise returned to Los Angeles with a brightened design, adding powder blue at its edges to honor the beloved old-school unis. Seriously, the teams had more uniform combos than many can count, but the lightning bolt remains a constant. It's electric, fast, and a perfect nod to their name and style of play. Number 14, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams boast the NFL's first ever helmet insignia, introduced in 1948 by Fred Gurkey, a player who literally painted the ram horns on their helmets. Over the decades, the horns changed shape and color, white horns in Los Angeles, yellow horns in St. Louis, then back to LA. In 2020, the franchise launched a bold new look with a stylized LA sporting a ram horn swirl. The helmet horns also got a swirl refresh that some fans loved and others found jarring. No kidding, the Rams are famous for taking design risks, from bright gold to a more subdued bone color. One thing remains, those ram horns have always been front and center in team identity. Number 13, Miami Dolphins. Since 1966, the Dolphins have featured their namesake mammal wearing a football helmet with an M. Early versions had a playful vibe, with a sunburst background symbolizing Miami sunshine. In 1997, the Dolphin looked sleeker and the sun got more defined. Then 2013 introduced a bigger shift. The helmet-wearing Dolphin was gone, replaced by a streamlined silhouette. This version faced forward, capturing a sense of motion. Fans joked the fish lost its helmet. To be honest, it was a modern nod to the city's evolving culture. They further refined the palette in 2018, making the aqua pop. Love it or miss the classic, you can't deny the new look's fresh, contemporary feel. Number 12, Minnesota Vikings. Few logos are as instantly recognizable as the Vikings' horned warrior head, introduced in 1961 and drawn by Los Angeles cartoonist Carl Hubenthal. With braided golden locks and a fierce expression, it became the face of Minnesota's gridiron persona. The Viking horns on the helmets quickly followed, tying the brand together. In 2013, the logo underwent a subtle facelift. Sharper lines, darker purple, and more pronounced horns. Fans praised the refined design, feeling it kept tradition while giving a fresh edge. No kidding, that stern Viking must eat a lot of lutefisk to maintain such a scowl. Either way, it's a beloved emblem, embodying a tough northern spirit that thrives on the frozen tundra. Number 11, New England Patriots. Pat Patriot, the original Revolutionary War-style Minuteman, debuted in 1960. He was depicted hiking a football, reflecting the region's heritage and rebellious grit. While fans adored Pat, the franchise decided to modernize in 1993, unveiling the Flying Elvis, a sleek navy and silver Patriot head with an elongated swoosh. The shift happened just before Bill Parcells helped rebrand the culture on the field. In truth, some longtime fans still wish for Pat's retro cameo on the regular, but the modern silhouette turned iconic after 6 Super Bowl wins under Belichick and Brady. Minor color tweaks aside, that dynamic Patriot face stands as a symbol of dominance and an unmistakable nod to American pride in the NFL. Number 10, New Orleans Saints. Since 1967, the Saints have sported the fleur-de-lis, a symbol deeply associated with French heritage and the city of New Orleans. Originally gold, black, and white, the logo has occasionally varied in shade, but the shape remains the same. It ties into the city's French roots and regal flair, which resonates even in the rowdiest Superdome nights. Fans joke it's the only fleur-de-lis many Americans can actually recognize. In all seriousness, the symbol of nobility is perfectly fitting for a team that overcame a tumultuous history, including Hurricane Katrina, to become a respected contender. Through ups and downs, that fleur-de-lis stands for resilience and a distinctly Louisiana spirit. Number 9, New York Giants. The Giants' logo history is a lesson in typography. In the 50s and early 60s, they used a stylized Giants wordmark. By 1961, they introduced the lowercase ny on their helmets, tying the brand to the city. From 1976 to 1999, they switched to an uppercase Giants script, reminiscent of the Bill Parcells era. In 2000, the franchise returned to the classic lowercase ny, a nod to nostalgia. For real, though, fans teased that the helmet might look too plain, but tradition won out. The subtle serif styling gives it an old-school New York toughness, iconic in the Big Apple's bustling sports scene. When you see that lowercase ny, you know it's Giants football time. Number 8, New York Jets. The Jets, originally the Titans of New York in 1960, rebranded to the Jets in 1963. Their first official mark was a football-shaped design with the word Jets and a tiny jet silhouette overhead. In the late 70s through the 90s, they went with a simpler word mark, just Jets in bold italic, which some loved for its streamlined look. In 1998, they circled back to a modernized version of the football shape, paying homage to the 60s classic. But seriously, the Jets might have changed uniforms more often than they've changed QBs lately, but the green and white remains a staple. That oval crest is an evergreen brand for Gang Green, signifying hope for that elusive second Super Bowl. Number 7, Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles' early logo in 1948 featured a full eagle carrying a football. In 1973, they introduced their famous green eagle with a wide wingspan, perched for an attack. But 1996 brought the biggest revamp. They unveiled the fierce eagle head in midnight green with a silver outline. Eagle Eyes noticed that the bird's neck feathers form a stylized E. Fans joked about the bird's scowl. Let's be real, it fits Philly's tough, no-nonsense reputation. Those wings soared highest in the 2017 season, culminating in the franchise's first Super Bowl win. The modern eagle head remains iconic, blending heritage, the green, with a sleek, menacing twist that's become synonymous with Eagles football. Number 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. Originally named the Pirates, Pittsburgh adopted the Steelers moniker in 1940 to salute the city's steel industry. The logo, introduced in 1962, borrows the steel mark from the American Iron and Steel Institute. It features 3 four-pointed asterisks, sometimes called hypocycloids, in yellow, orange, red, and blue, representing the materials used in steel production. The team simply added Steelers to the design, and it's been on the right side of the helmet ever since, truly unique in the NFL. No kidding, it fits the tough, hardworking vibe of the Steel City. With 6 Lombardi trophies in tow, the brand is ironclad. The one-sided helmet look, that's just tradition, a quirk that sets Pittsburgh apart. Number 5, San Francisco 49ers. Before the well-known SF Oval, the 49ers used a cartoony gold miner carrying a pistol, reminiscent of the 1849 gold rush. By 1968, the simplified interlocking SF in a red oval took over, streamlined for a more professional look. Minor tweaks occurred, adding black outlines or adjusting the shade of red. Jokes aside, that gold miner might have been fun, but it was time to modernize. The iconic red and gold color scheme remains a nod to the region's history. Few logos evoke success like that SF, especially after the Joe Montana, Steve Young, and Jerry Rice era. It's timeless, easily recognized, and has enough gold to remind the league of the 49ers' shining legacy. Number 4, Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks' original 1976 logo drew inspiration from Pacific Northwest native art, sporting a fierce hawk head in blue, white, and green. It remained fairly consistent until 2002, when the team introduced a sleeker, more angular bird. They also darkened the blue and brightened the neon green eye. Fans embraced the fierce expression, linking it to a new era under Mike Holmgren. In 2012, another slight update aligned with the Nike uniform redesign, adding a brighter action green highlight. To be honest, it's the only hawk fans want to see swooping in on Sundays. The tribal nod and modern lines mesh the region's heritage with the team's forward-thinking approach, fitting for the loudest stadium in the league. Number 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The infamous Bucco Bruce. When Tampa Bay entered the league in 1976, their creamsicle orange uniforms and swashbuckler logo were unlike anything else. Bruce sported a feathered hat and a winking expression, prompting jokes about the team's ferocity or lack thereof. By 1997, the Bucs pivoted to pewter and red, unveiling the tattered flag with a skull and crossed swords on a pirate's cutlass. Instantly, the vibe shifted from comedic to intimidating, matching Tony Dungy's tough defense. A slight update in 2014 sharpened the skull and updated the face mask color. For real, though, once they hoisted a Lombardi in those new duds, fans never looked back. Bruce remains a cult favorite throwback, but the flag rules the ship now. Number 2, Tennessee Titans. When the Houston Oilers relocated to Tennessee, they became the Titans in 1999, seeking a name that conveyed power and prestige. Their flaming T-shield logo features 3 stars, a nod to Tennessee's 3 distinct geographic regions. The circular ring is reminiscent of a sun or shield, symbolizing strength. The color palette, Titans blue, navy, and red, differentiated them from the Oilers' powder blue. Some fans teased the flaming thumbtack appearance, but in all honesty, it's grown on the volunteer state. Over time, minor color tweaks have occurred, but the bold T stands firm. With a recent uniform overhaul in 2018, the logo remains the cornerstone of the brand, fiery and ready for a Music City battle. Number 1, Washington Commanders. This franchise has undergone one of the most dramatic rebrands in modern NFL history. Originally the Boston Braves in 1932, they became the Redskins in 1933, a name and logo that held for decades despite growing controversy. In 2020, the team temporarily dropped its old branding to become the Washington Football Team. Then, in 2022, they unveiled their permanent identity. The Washington Commanders, sporting a bold W with angled notches. Maroon and gold remain the primary colors, linking to the past, but the stylized W signals a new chapter. In truth, that single letter carries heavy expectations for a fresh era in DC. After nearly a century, the franchise has set course on a brand new path. That wraps up our whirlwind tour of every NFL team's logo evolution. From timeless classics to bold reinventions, these emblems reflect rich histories and fan identities across the league. Hope you found this video helpful and maybe even discovered something new about your favorite franchise's heritage. If you enjoyed this fast-paced run-through, be sure to like this video and share it with fellow football fanatics. And in all seriousness, if you want even more NFL breakdowns and insider scoops, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you next time on the channel.